Most fighter jets are just normal. However, some are so odd that they are downright strange. In this video we will show you the top 10 weirdest ones we could find. The sole criteria is how bizarre the design is. The more unusual, the better. Fighter jets are characterized as jet aircraft built for aerial combat. Jet aircraft are often less bizarre than propeller-driven ones, although the most bizarre prop fighters are a topic for another day. Number 10. Nord 1500 Griffon. The huge air intake found directly below the cockpit of fighter jets has a peculiar and rather ominous appearance. This French interceptor prototype from the 1950s appears to want to swallow you whole, probably because of its resemblance to the human face. Number 9. Boeing X-32. This fifth-generation fighter jet, which was defeated by the F-35 and continues the trend of bizarre air intakes, appears to be grinning. Some claim that because the military prefers dull-looking aircraft, its distinctive appearance may have led to its demise. Despite how intriguing it could be, it is unlikely that this tale is founded on actual events. Number 8. Yakovlev Yak-38U. The Yak-38U, also known by its NATO codename Forger, was a notorious Soviet vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) fighter aircraft. This variant was distinct from the original aircraft in that the fuselage was expanded to make room for a cockpit with 2 seats. There were 38 Yak-38U constructed, with the 38th plane being delivered in 1981. The Yak-38U entered service on November 15, 1978. The aircraft looks like a spaghettified Harrier, while at the same time getting stung by a bee. Number 7. Republic XF-91 Thunderceptor. Everyone is familiar with the Grumman X-29 and Sukhoi Su-57 Berkut, 2 aircraft that appeared to have the wrong-way fitted wings. In contrast, the wings of the XF-91 were tapered in the opposite direction, as if they had been joined improperly. Or perhaps Republic Aviation was merely attempting to reimagine the butterfly. Number 6. Lockheed YF-12. What it does is more important than how it appears. The YF-12 is essentially an upgraded version of the SR-71 Blackbird, the world's fastest spy plane. It was a bit of an overkill, to put it mildly, designed to track Soviet bombers at speeds faster than Mach 3. It was created in the late 1950s and early 1960s as a probable F-106 Delta Dart interceptor replacement for the United States Air Force. The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, used the Lockheed A-12 reconnaissance aircraft, which had a single seat, until it was modified into the twin-seat YF-12. Unlike the A-12, the YF-12 had a Hughes AN/ASG-18 fire control radar and could be armed with AIM-47 Falcon, GAR-9 air-to-air missiles. Number 5. Rockwell Heimat. We suddenly find ourselves in an area where every aircraft resembles a Star Wars spacecraft. The first of these is Heimat, an effort to create a combat plane that is as agile as feasible. If not for the extremely odd paint job, it would resemble an F-16 from the Mad Max universe. A NASA mission to develop technologies for upcoming fighter aircraft led to the creation of the experimental remotely piloted aircraft known as the Heimat. Closely connected canards, fully digital flight control, which included propulsion, composite materials, which was, among other, graphite and fiberglass, remote piloting, synthetic vision systems, winglets, and other innovations were among the technologies explored. Number 4. Ryan X-13 Vertijet. The Vertijet is a jet with a vertical takeoff and landing capability, one of many such concepts the United States tested in the 1950s. Not one of the 2 prototypes crashed, which is somewhat remarkable. The project's major goal was to show that a pure jet is capable of vertical takeoff, hovering, transitioning to horizontal forward flight, and vertical landing. On April 11, 1957, at Edwards Air Force Base in California, It successfully accomplished its first full-cycle flight when it lifted up vertically from its mobile trailer, angled over into a horizontal attitude, and flew for several minutes. The X-13 then switched to vertical flight before returning to its trailer and landing there. Number 3. Rockwell XF V12. The Rockwell XF V12 was a prototype supersonic VTOL jet from the 1970s. This may have been Rockwell's foray into science fiction. Unfortunately, the aircraft had a poor flying performance. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II's Mach 2 speed and AIM-7 Sparrow armament were combined in an attempt to create a vertical takeoff and landing fighter for the tiny seat control ship that was being researched at the time. It appeared to be an improvement over the Hawker Siddeley Harrier attack fighter on paper. However, the program was cancelled because it was unable to show an untethered vertical takeoff and could not meet performance standards. Number 2. Northrop XP-79B. This time, it's not only the bizarre behavior or the strange looks. Yes, both. XP-79 is well known among aviation enthusiasts and has earned that reputation. Yes, it was intended to collide with enemy bombers in order to attack them. What not to love? It possessed a number of distinctive design elements, including a welded magnesium monocoque construction rather than a riveted aluminum one, and a lying-down piloting position, which allowed the pilot to bear far greater G-forces with regard to the plane. Number 1. Convair F-2YC Dart. Boats that fly are awesome. Also cool are supersonic interceptors. Why not combine those concepts? Although it seemed for a while that waterborne fighters were extinct, there were attempts to build them during the dawn of the jet age. One of them was the Saunders Roe SRA-1 jet fighter flying boat. It looked absurd, though perhaps not stupid enough to make this list, and no one remembered it. Convair, however, had other ideas. They took their F-102 Delta Dagger interceptor, gave it a little tinkering, then mounted aircraft on skis. This was an attempt to employ established technology, as supersonic planes taking off from aircraft carriers in the 1950s seemed a little too far-fetched. Fighter planes traveling at supersonic speeds landing on water, why not? 5 prototypes were created and put through rigorous testing, at least one of which had, let's say, explosive results. Others were restrained and unfairly forgotten. That was all for our top 10 weirdest fighter jets. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like it, and to subscribe so you don't miss out on similar videos in the future.